Hi, Karen with you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I have a project for ScrapFX Australia, and today I am creating a scrapbook layout. And I'm just going through here just a few different products that I'm thinking about using for my layout, and I'll go through those as I progress through creating this one as well for you. To start off with, I'm using a patterned paper that is already looking beautiful. I love this patterned paper, and it's basically just a mixed media, all on print, all ready for me to go. What I really love doing with this type of patterned paper is adding some more depth and dimension, and then adding to create my own specialty paper, I guess. So that's what I've decided to do here. So my first thing to do was to add some stars onto this page, because I have a title in mind, so it will come up and really link it through when we go through this whole layout. Now, the stencil I'm using today is called the Starstruck stencil, and this is relatively new. It's only been out in the last couple of months, and it's a fantastic little stencil here. I really loved using this one. The Distress Oxides that I'm using today, that blue colour is Prize Ribbon, and I'm about to use the green there, which is Rustic Wilderness, which is that gorgeous deepish green tone. Now, one of the really great things about this particular stencil is it doesn't have any border on it. Now, what I mean by that, there's no straight border. So I didn't need to necessarily worry about it for this one, but I know how much that will be helpful if I'm going to use some modeling paste or something like that, because you don't get a sharp edge around when you're doing that modeling paste. So yeah, it's a fantastic stencil and was really smooth with my ink blending tool as well. The other blue that I did use was Mermaid Lagoon, which is that gorgeous turquoisey colour. Now, the stamps that I'm using there are called Number Crunch stamps, and there's 2 blocks of stamps on that block, and one that says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's 6, 7. There's all jumbled up numbers actually. So I thought, just to add some dimension onto the page, I've just stamping that down with some archival ink, because I knew that at some point I was probably going to add some more liquid to the page, and I didn't want that black to sort of meld over the page in any way, which is why I use the archival ink pad. And I at times double or even triple block that down on the page, so there's lots of different dimension of colour around that black. So some of it's even a little bit grey, as well as that sort of started as the stamp pads obviously started losing some of the ink over the edge. Then I came in with some splatters, and I'm really loving how this layout is starting to come together. This is what I was saying at the beginning. I really wanted to create and really wanted to add on to this patterned paper to really make this my own. The sprays that I used for my splatters were the Distress Inks Oxide in Faded Jeans, which is a bit of a darker blue colour, and then I also came in with some Dina Wakley gloss in white. If you watch me regularly, you know that I love putting white splatters on a page. I think it gives wonderful brightness to the page and really lifts anything that you do with mixed media. I just love that look. Now, for my chipboard today, I haven't used chipboard in a while, so it was really great to get this little piece out, and this is called Star Border, and this is relatively new as well. So what I did, the little bit of treatment I've done for this one today is I painted over it with some Distress Oxide in the Prize Ribbon. I did start to put a little bit of the Rustic Wilderness over the top as well, but I didn't like how that was turning out, so I stopped doing that, and then added on some gold and some white splatters as well. What I also did was cut it down a little bit, because I've got my 2 little 3x3 photos there. Actually, I think they might be 2x3. They're quite small, and I wanted to have some embellishments over on my left-hand side. So I've just cut it in sort of almost in sort of a third, so I could save for some stars on one side of the page as well, and you'll see that in just a moment. So I wanted to back my photos here just with some pattern paper as well, just in some solid black, because I wanted to bring some black and some darkness into the page as well, just to sort of, I guess, grunge it up. And it sort of goes with these photos as well. These photos are of my nephews, taken several years ago on a secret family shoot that we've did. I think I've talked about this shoot before, and taken by Leanne Stamatelos, who is a fantastic photographer here in Brisbane. And the kids just bought some handballs that day and had a bit of a play for a few minutes while she was taking photos. So I'm going to leave embellishing to being really minimalistic on this one because I've made this background so busy now. So my embellishing is literally just adding some cotton, some thread, in just some twirls around my fingers and just mush that up. And I've used a really dark blue on that top right hand side in the center, and then I've used the dark sort of dark green as well, just so I could tone in with all the inks that I've used as part of that, so it flows well across the page. And then I also add some more thread, both the green and the blue, underneath the other section on the left-hand side of that chipboard piece as well. So here's where we'll start to see why I went with the stars on this particular layout. My title is going to be Handball Stars. So I'm just having a look here through my stash around what letters I can use and what color would be best. And I do put this blue away. It just didn't sit well across the page. It was really hidden. So I thought what I'd do is tone back to the white splatters and create with some foam stickers that I had in my stash with handball, and the stars there in the green to tone back to those green stars. So I really felt that gave that sort of real cohesiveness around and across the page. And they're just foam stickers from my stash. I added a few more stars as well into the page, just to throw in some extra, I guess, dimension and some extra colour, and just to round out some of the areas of the paint as well. What I also made sure I did, because I have used so much mixed media on this page, although it's not all that wet, I felt it was necessary. I have used some pretty strong glue, and I've used my Scotch tacky glue for this one this time, and that should give me no problems later on. Nothing should fall off that. To round out the layout, more splatters. I love some splatters as always, and for these ones I grabbed out the stamp pads from the oxides again, just mush that down onto my mat, added a little bit of water and flicked that around the page and dabbed it up with my paper towel. I then added some more white splatters to the page. I did cover my photos, thankfully this time. The last few times I've forgotten to do that. And then I do come in and a final flourish of some gold splatters as well. Nothing better. And that really toned back into the fact that I'd used the gold across the star chipboard as well. And I do finish off with a border around the page just with a black Sharpie as well. I just found in my stash just a couple of word photo stickers just to add in there. And that's as simple as I wanted to make that layout. I really felt it was getting pretty busy with all that mixed media, so it didn't really need anything more than what I've done there. And I really love how this one turned out. I'll leave all the details of the blog post in the comments section below. And if you've got any questions or you want to find out where to get the products and stockists, please reach out and have a look at the blog and store, and you can check all those things out online as well. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I have some close-ups and the final layout for you, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.